And for Krishna's perspective, it was an utsav, mahotsav. The story is so important because where there's love, where there's devotion, where there's a sincere desire to serve, there is no possible impediment in all of Brahma's creation. Physically there is. If we have the right intent, there's no possibility of failing in doing anything in Krishna consciousness. Srila Prabhupada, he started temple in Jhansi, and it was all taken away. But we have a nice connection with that story, because the temple that we're sitting in was Krishna's transcendental reciprocation to that activity. If you want to know the details, you can ask the people who, because it was, the governor at the time was K.M. Munshi, yes? And his wife wanted to get that premise for her own purposes. So the people who owned that facility, they had a choice. Either let this stay within this totally unknown, apparently poverty-stricken Swami, or give it to the wife of the governor. Which would you do? I know what you would do. But she didn't know who Prabhupada was. So they gave to the... And Prabhupada was left out with nothing. Yes? Anyways, we happen to be on K.M. Munshi Marg. And this used to belong, this whole property used to belong under the not belong, but under the custody of that organization until Srinathji Prabhu was relaxing in the back of the temple there. Mahaprabhu and others, they just gave it to somehow or other. It came into their hands and it came to Krishna. But did Prabhupada fail there? Absolutely no. Because failure and success is only in regard to how we please Krishna. The material, physical manifestations of this world are not really that important. This is the very basis of the Gita. Krishna tells Arjuna, whether you win or lose doesn't matter. That you fight for me is all that matters. If you fight for me, you are supremely victorious, even if you lose the battle. You just have to try to win, that's all. Try to win with the right intent of pure devotion. That's what the Gita teaches. We're not attached to the results. We're attached to the service. So yes, this was one of the most glorious Mahotsavas. Vasudevs, he was just creating an incredible festival with all the decorations of a festival in his mind, and Krishna was seeing that. And he was in ecstasy. He was happy. Why was he in ecstasy? Because Krishna was accepting what he was offering and reciprocating with him. Narasimhananda Brahmachari was a poverty-stricken brahmachari. From a material perspective, being a brahmachari is something like being in a prison. Yes. Yes. As far as you don't really have anything except your devotion. At least you're not supposed to. So Narasimhananda Brahmachari, he decided, I want to landscape all the hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of kilometers from Navadvip, Kuliagram, all the way to Vrindavan. I'm going to landscape everything. Now we have our little project in Wada, Govardhan, and how much difficulty is to landscape. Because landscaping is not so difficult, but dealing with landscapers is really For that you can discuss with Gauranga. But it's very landscaping, Indian countryside, there's jungles, and there's deserts and all kinds of stuff. And here he is, he's landscaping, he's creating beautiful lakes, and he's putting swans, not just ordinary swans, but really nice swans, singing swans in the lakes, and magnificent lotus flowers of all colors emitting such intoxicating fragrances. And he paved the road with jewels. Find a landscaper who could do this. And it's not that as Lord Chaitanya was walking, all of a sudden there was, road under construction. Some detour through a congested little neighborhood with traffic jams, so that the construction's temporary inconvenience. Everything was done. He paved it with rubies and emeralds and diamonds. And then after doing that, he took flower petals without a single stem, only the petal, and covered the whole world with all these jewels with a thick blanket. And all the jewels were perfectly smooth. Wasn't like all different shapes. It was totally smooth. Then a very nice blanket of fresh, fragrant flower petals, and Lord Chaitanya was dancing and singing, and he was putting banyan trees, not just new ones that the Lord Chaitanya just saw some little thing with a fence around it. It was struggling to grow. He was putting 500-year-old banyan trees. And he was getting kadamba trees that didn't even grow in that area, and 1,000-year-old kadamba trees, and he was putting in, and they were all filled with flowers and fruits. What landscaper could do that? Narasimhananda Brahmachari. He was doing it in his mind. And Lord Chaitanya, as he was walking, the only thing he saw was what was in Narasimhananda Brahmachari's mind. He was smelling, he was tasting, he was seeing whatever Narasimhananda Brahmachari was doing. And he was just sitting on this, Narasimhananda Brahmachari was just sitting on a roadside, like this. Because the Lord is bhavagrahi. That means he accepts the essence of our love, that's all. And this can make us fearless in any situation. Because in this material world, the reality, padam yad vipadam datesham, nothing can change that. From a physical perspective, there is danger at every step, whoever we are. Srila Prabhupada says there are accidents even on the king's royal roads. We see even multi-billionaires with such fame and such power is happening every day. But they die an early death. Billionaires, with all their money, with all their power, with all their influence, trying to cure a disease, but they can't. They die in the 50s. And I've seen people in the ghettos of Bombay who live in a little shanty house and just drink sewage water. And they live till 95 years old. The world is such a difficult place to really understand if we're trying to understand it with our senses. But the reality is, padam padam yad vipadam natesham, whoever we are, wherever we are, danger can strike us in so many ways at any moment. There are literally, practically infinite ways that we can suffer in any situation. From within, from without. So where's the security here? You can have the best insurance policy. Yes, who was it? Jayadratha. He had the entire Kuru army surrounding him to protect him from Arjuna. It was impossible for Arjuna to get to him. But Arjuna got to him. There's no way to protect ourselves in this world. But the soul's eternal. And the most beautiful thing is, if we just have a desire to serve, a desire to express our love for Krishna, there is no impediment in this world that can possibly come between us and Krishna. Impossible. Because sincerity of devotion transcends all limitations. And when we have this sincerity, Krishna reciprocates by letting us know that he's accepting our offering. And that's really all that matters. That's our happiness. That's our eternal life. That's our eternal fulfillment. Because that's all we want. So here, the actual meaning of true happiness is being revealed. To have a mahotsav, a wonderful festival for the pleasure of Krishna, through the sincerity of our devotion. Where all material impediments only serve to intensify our offering of love and devotion. Not only did Krishna appear to Vasudeva in the prison house, but through Vasudev's heart, he appeared to deliver the whole world. So we should not be afraid of impediments, whatever they may be. We should just fix our minds and fix our hearts on the prayer that let my happiness be your happiness, Krishna. And then we become transcendental. And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he taught us that we can access that Krishna within our heart. We can access that devotion within our heart that is transcendental to birth and death and all the dualities in between. All that's required is with a humble and sincere heart, we learn to cry out Krishna's holy name. Something like that.